124,000 chosen trees.
Assured, we are pure alchemists, transmuting your
Transmuting your
thoughts
thoughts into
into
gold.
gold. No
Ariska Gale.
Yes, and
Meet me in the laboratory.
just constantly hearing how I have no tact. I can't go around offending people all the time. Hearing things like, well, that's why you don't have any friends. Because the way you speak to people, the way you talk to people, this went on throughout my whole life. And throughout time, I want to say probably over the last maybe 15 years, give or take, my voice just really kind of got quieter and quieter and quieter. I don't like arguing with people that I care about in particular, but even people that I don't really know like that, I don't want to argue with you. And the reason why is because I know I won't. It's not that I'm gonna try to hurt you. I'm not gonna say things like I'm like just spiteful things to try to, little digs to try to tear at you. I'm gonna fuck around and say some real shit that's gonna tear into your soul. So I don't really like arguing with people because I know I have that ability to do that. Like I can see things about you that you don't want to face. And I say that and you will be like hurt for a long time. And that's something like I realized about myself that I have this ability to do that. And it's not purposely, it's just really like, hey, chill. What you saying, what you doing, it's not it. That's not it. And it's not because I want to hurt you. It's because I want you. I feel like so a lot of times people have people around them and they don't tell them the truth. They just let them do things or say things. And it's like, well, I'm not going to tell them that's not my business. That's on them. But I don't feel that way. I feel like if I deal with you, if I really fuck with you and I see you doing something that's self-destructive and I see it, I know it's not something that's not good for you. Whether you change it or not, I feel like it's my duty to say something because I recognize it. Like, why would I not say something and not say I care about you? Like, that's just me. And the same thing for myself. It's not about whether or not I'm going to change it, but maybe I didn't see it. Maybe I didn't see this self-destructive behavior and you was able to see it because you was on the outside looking at it. And if you were supposed to care about me, I feel like you supposed to say, hey, look what you're doing. That ain't right. That ain't cool. And whether I like it or not, even in that moment, if I don't like it, maybe it's something that I could think about later. Maybe in that moment I was too upset or too emotional to really receive it. But you planted that seed and now I can go back and reflect on it. But a lot of people don't do that because they be afraid of the outcome. They be afraid of losing people. And I used to not be like that. But as time went on, is more experiences happened and me having more consequences to my truth, me speaking my truth, I started to get quieter and quieter and dim my light and shrink myself to stop having to deal with losing people. And it's like, it don't matter because at the end of the day, I feel some type of way about something that you're doing and I know it's not right, but I'm sitting here watching you do it and I'm just not going to say nothing. That's going to bother me. I'm not going to even really want to be around you because I want to say this so bad. And I know this. It's going to be people that's not going to like what you have to say. There's going to be a lot of people that's going to go back and reflect on what you said later, but you can't hold your truth in for fear of what somebody is going to think about it, how somebody going to look at it, or if they're going to not want to talk to you because of it. Because at the end of the day, it's up to you to do the right thing, not the politically correct thing, and not always the most comfortable thing. You know, I was the first one in my family to speak up about the molestation that goes on in my family on my mother's side. And, I know it didn't go over well. I was a little upset for a little while too because I feel like my family should know me well enough to know that I don't lie that well. Like I'm not a liar. I don't like the way it make me feel. Like my body, like I don't feel good. Not just that my body don't feel good. I don't have a memory for that type of shit. Like I know that's crazy for me to say that, but just honestly, like you gotta remember stuff, and it's just easier for me to remember the truth than for me to try to remember lies. I don't even want to try to. I don't want to try to keep up with, I said this time and I said that. I don't want to have to keep up with that. Just to be real. I just rather tell the truth. And if it's something where I feel like, you know, I shouldn't speak the truth at that moment. I should not even speak the truth, but I shouldn't speak at that moment. Then I would just rather be quiet and not say nothing at all than to lie about it. And this is where the voice shrinking thing came in there, because I'm not gonna lie to save someone else's feelings, but I'm also aware that me speaking the truth sometimes hurt people too. And so, that made me shrink my voice. So the family thing, I felt like they should, like, and I don't know, I guess I felt like they kind of was taking the molester side by study, inviting them to things and dealing with them after I made them aware of what happened. But I'm also aware that it's uncomfortable. It's not like in a situation like that. Even when I was younger, when I was being molested, I always felt like my family knew, like the older family members, I always felt like they knew. One of my aunties in particular, when I had did a Facebook Live, and this is when I was like, I exposed everybody. I mean, I called names and everything. And a lot of my family tuned into that. Some of their children tuned into the video. And it was, I'm not going to lie, it was extremely uncomfortable. But I was just, I don't know, it was like, I was inspired then. It was just like, stop protecting these people. Like, people got so much to say about other people being molesters and this, that, and the third. And it's people right in your own household. People that's right in your own family that's doing this, and you ain't got shit to say about it. You don't have nothing to say about it. That's crazy. But you got everything to say about people that you don't know. People that you have no clue whether or not they doing this. You got a lot to say about them. But people children that you're supposed to care for and love and protect, you don't protect them. You ain't got nothing to say about them being molested. But you want to talk about people you don't know, celebrities and shit. That bothered me, And so after I did that video, my auntie reached out to me with the, the crocodile tears and all that. And she like, well, if I would have known, I would have helped you. Why didn't you tell me? And I told her to her face, like, I felt like you knew. And she was like, well, I didn't know. I would have protected you, baby, and all this other stuff. And then here we are, fast forward later, she's still inviting these same uncles to things and trying to get me to be around them, inviting me to things where they gonna be at. And like I say, I don't even know what her motive in that is. But if I've already told you I don't want to have nothing to do with them, I told you what happened between, like, it's not even that I have ill feelings toward them at this point about it. Like, I forgive them to in a sense of, I'm not allowing it to control my life now. But I also feel like I don't want to be around them. I don't want my children around them. I don't want no children around them. And that's how I feel. So for you to be still inviting me to things that they involved in and stuff like that, I did feel away with my aunt about that. But I have also to forgive her, because again, I realized that too is generational. That's something that she was taught. She wasn't taught how to face things like this. And neither was I, but it just built up in me so much, like the fakeness of everybody just pretending like they don't know this stuff be happening. I just couldn't hold it no more. Especially like feeling like other children could be in jeopardy or at risk of experiencing this because the adults around are too afraid to speak up and say, nah, these pedophiles don't need to be around children. No, we're not inviting them to gatherings where children gonna be at. Because you don't know what they may do. You don't know who they may have their eyes on to groom next. They may not do nothing at this event, but they may like see this child and then somehow try to strike up a relationship with the parent just to get closer. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. And I just know, knowing that, I wouldn't want to put nobody else's children in a position like that. But the point of fact that they so busy wanting to keep the secret, that's more important. You know what I mean? Like, that bothered me. But me speaking up about that it caused other issues, you know. Like I say, family, I don't really talk to a lot of family, and I feel like okay, so this same aunt, let me say this. This same aunt, this is how I knew that she was really in support of these uncles. Not just because of her inviting me to things, but I had been making these posts. At the time, I did not connect the two things, right? I had made some posts, some posts about me being a Nuwabian. And my aunt had I guess she had seen the post, and she is like evangelist, you know what I'm saying? So she had seen the post, and she reached out to me and was like, well, what's this Nuwabian stuff? What does this mean? What is this about? And I was busy at the time, but her asking me, you know, I'm open to having discussions, you know, having discussions about my spirituality and things like that. I'm not trying to push it on people, but I'm open to discuss it if you really want to have a discussion, not on some bashing things, because I'm not really trying to bash you. What you into is what you into. But if you ask me specific questions, even about something that you're into, I'm going to be honest about that as well. So when she asked me, I was like open to have a conversation. However, I was busy at the time. So I told her, like, give me a moment, you know, we could talk about it. But it's like she already had the stuff ready, because within some minutes, like I want to say it was probably no more than like a half an hour or so, she had started like stuff, she had screenshotted me. Like she had screenshotted me things about Nuwabu. It wasn't even about Nuwabu. She had screenshotted me things about the leader, the master teacher of Nuwabu, which is Dr. Malachi Z. York. And when you Google Nuwabu or his name, that's like the first thing come up, you know, about the case put against him about the molestation and him getting 135 years in prison and so on and so forth. And so she sent me that, and you know, I'm like, yeah, like, but you asked me about Nuwabu. You didn't ask me about him in particular, you know. And she like, well, you know, how, like, basically like how you following somebody that did this. And at the time, like I say, at the time, I didn't even connect the two, but it was her way of low key saying, you following this man that molested all these children, but you mad at your uncles for molesting you. Like it was like, and this, as sick as it may sound, like this was like what she was doing. Like this was her gaslighting me. She was gaslighting me. And like I said, at the time, I didn't even realize that that's what she was like. She was connecting the two things, but that's what she like. That's why she was like focused in. She already knew. When she asked me about Nuwabu, she had already Googled that, and she already had seen that. But she wanted to drive it in into a point of like, how could you support somebody that you don't even know, but you still holding a grudge against your uncles for something they did to you when you was younger, this, that, and the third. So this was her way also of forgiving my uncles, or pretending like what they did was okay. Like, was she okay with this person she don't really know, you know, and following the doctrine, you know. Like, let me say something about this. And this goes to my truth, right? When it come down to Nuwabu, I am, and I will always be a Nuwabian. And I am grateful to the master teacher, Dr. Malachi Z. York, for bringing forth that knowledge. No one can change my mind about that, because what I have learned, what I have become, barriers I have broken through because of that knowledge, what I know about myself because of that knowledge, the pieces that knowledge have put together for me. Nobody else can understand that but me. When I read his scrolls, in particular the holy tablets, I am in the holy tablets. I never physically met Dr. Malachi Z. York. It's people that I physically know in this realm, in this world. that's in the holy tablets that do not even know nothing about Dr. Malachi York. When he wrote these scrolls, some of these people was babies or not even born when he wrote the holy tablets. You know what I'm saying? And they are in the holy tablets by name. And I know these people right now in this lifetime with the same name, the same motherfucking face. That man, whatever came through him was sent through that vessel to write those scrolls and to deliver those messages. It was for me. Those messages were for me. And so I don't care what somebody else feel about that part of it. Now, setting that part aside, when we get into the molestation charges and all that stuff, do I feel that he did it? No. In my soul, in my being, in my essence, do I feel like he did it? No. However, I am aware that that is an emotional feeling that I have. I have no facts. I was not there. When I say I have no facts, meaning I was not there. See, I'm Nuwabian first and foremost. This is what people got to understand. My loyalty is to Nuwabu. Understand that. Sound right reasoning. That's what my loyalty is to. Not to any actual being. Because we are all vessels here as expressions of the Most High. So my loyalty is to Nuwabu. Do I feel like he did those things? No. The emotional ties and triggers I have to a molestation type of situation. And this is where the government play into these kind of things, right? When you accuse somebody of molesting a child, the natural instinct for everybody is to want to protect the children and say, no, they must have did it. We're going to believe the children for the most part. And if you have been molested yourself and the person that has molested you have not been brought to justice, the instinct in you, the instinct in you that feels like I was wronged and I never got justice. You want to get justice through this person that's being accused. So if I can get this person like that's justice for all of us. Because this person molested somebody and now they getting to suffer. So that's like the person that did it to me suffering. I have to detach myself from any of that and look at the facts. And this is one of the things why I say, when we dealing with Dr. Malachi York, he has always said, don't believe me, check it out for yourself. Nuwabu is sound right reasoning. You have to be able to prove it 3 different ways. I cannot prove it 3 different ways. The fact of the matter is, I do not know him physically in this realm. I have not even met him. I have not been on the land. How can I say yay or nay he did or he didn't do it for sure, like for certain, if I was not there? I can't. That would not be Nuwabu. I would be lying to myself and to anybody else that I'm talking to if I said, I know for a fact, I was like I was there in a room and I saw, like, I can't say that. And it's for a point of fact, I don't want to victim shame and I don't want to blame somebody for something they didn't do, because the fact of the matter is, we all know that when somebody is becoming, especially in our community, a melanated being is becoming too big, they're getting too big of a following, we know that they have a tendency of throwing cases on them, killing them, all type of things, just to devalue them so that they following don't look at them the same, or that they lose their following. So we know this. The thing is, depending on who the person is whether or not we want to follow that road. If we like a person, we're more likely to follow that trail of belief. Say, oh, well, they could have did this. They set him up because we like that person. But if you don't like the person, it's easy to say, well, nah, he probably did do it because he cocky, he arrogant, he this, he that. It's like, and again, all these things are based off emotions. None of this stuff is based on fact. So I'm not, me being a true Nuwabian, if I really could prove that he didn't do it, I would be at the courts doing that shit. Not on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, trying to prove it to a bunch of people that can't do shit for the case. I wouldn't be on there doing that for what? So I'm saying that I recognize that that's an emotional stance that I will be taking. And that's okay. Just like everybody else they got a right to their opinion. Everybody, they feel a certain way. Oh, he was arrogant, he was cocky, he was this, he was that. Yeah, but he did so much for the melanated community. He woke up so many people all over the world, not just in the US, all over the world. He done woke people up. Made them aware of who they are. He done a lot, whether people acknowledge it or not. But like I say, he rubbed some people the wrong way because he started breaking down their religions, start bringing the truth forth about their religions that they don't want to face. So a lot of people don't like him just off the strength of that because, again, he spoke his truth, which triggered them. He unintentionally triggered them by telling the truth. So it's a lot of people that don't like him, but it's a lot of people that do. And the ones that don't like him, they are biased against him because they don't like him. So no matter what you come to them with as far as evidence, they ain't going to believe it because they don't like him. And then the people that do like him, if you come to him with a mountain of evidence and say, he did do it, and this is how I know, they not going to believe it because they like him. They following him. They love him. So me coming from a stance of, I'm not going to do that. I'm coming with the fact of the matter is, my heart says he didn't do it. But I can't prove it. And that's just the facts of it. Let me back up, okay, to when I was molested. Let me go here for a second, right? People that know me and that know the people that molested me, they may say, well, I don't really see it to be in their character for being a molester. Like one of my uncles, for example, one of my uncles that molested me, in his public life, he was a player. He had all the women. He was an athlete. Like, he had a lot of, at certain points, he had a little money. You know what I'm saying? Women loved him. Like, a person would think, like, why would he try to molest a little girl? Why would he be trying to sleep with a little girl at 11, 12 years old, and he got all these women throwing pussy at him? Why would he do that? Right? A lot of people would say that, right? Wrong. Because he was doing it. For years. For fucking years. So, depending on who looking at the story or the situation, they may say, man, I don't know, shit, she probably making that up. But then other people that know me, that know I don't get down like that, like, nah, she wouldn't lie about nothing like that. She wouldn't make nothing up like that on nobody. That ain't how she get down. So depending on who you ask and the emotional attachment they have to the person, that's the way they gonna roll with who they siding with. Going off my emotional side of things, yes, I'm saying without the Melchizedek Europe because I don't feel like he got the capabilities of doing it. Do I know that for certain? Because I never met him. I cannot say that. And I would look like a damn fool. I wouldn't be wobble if I said that shit truthfully. Like, if I'm just sitting there saying, like, yeah, he ain't do it, and I know he ain't do it, and the government, they don't, like, yeah, that is the alignment that I would choose to take, because the fact of the matter is, I know for a fact that when certain leaders get to a certain status, they do that type of shit to bring them down a notch. On the flip side of that, you may look at that and say, well, why would a person do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would a person do that if they was in this position? They got all this money and all these women, da 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, I mean, it's so many different angles you can look at that from, and I feel like it's a distraction to, even if you don't have actual facts, if you're not like literally investigating this, like for real investigating, and not going off, I feel like this, I feel like that. If you're not actually investigating this for real, I'm talking about for real. You literally going to interview and talk to the people. You actually being able to go talk to him. Going, like, you able to go to the land and look and see, like, you know, get a feel for the energy of what happened, and talk to other witnesses and people that's unbiased. And like, unless you actually doing all of that, you basically getting your affirmation from what other people saying. And so you don't know. You don't know. All you can say is, well, he got charged. It's a lot of people that's in jail that's innocent. They don't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like I say, for me, I don't even want to get that energy because I don't know. I'm going to focus on what's important, which is the message that he came to deliver. That's what's important for me. Because I don't know about that other shit. I can only go with what I know. What I know is his message is valid. That's what I know. That's what I know. We used to, like, people could say, oh, he on this space cadet shit and he talking about aliens and space. Like, nah, I know. I've seen this. Even before they talking about this Project Blue Beam and all this other bullshit, a lot of stuff he said has come to pass. A lot of things. Most things that I have read of him or heard in lectures have come to pass. And before all this Project Blue Beam talking all this shit, I have seen crafts myself, my own two eyes. And not just like, not the stuff like what they describe, not the stuff like what you see on movies. I seen with my own two eyes. Still be seeing them. Still be seeing them. This ain't a joke. This shit real. The message that he came to bring is real. So I don't give a fuck what somebody else think about that, because I know the truth on that matter. That's my truth. And it may rub somebody the wrong way. I don't give a fuck. When it comes down to that, like real talk, I don't give a fuck. So let me backtrack, because that wasn't even what this whole thing was about. But that was an example. That was a part of my truth that may rub somebody the wrong way. And I get it. I get it. It may. And I get how it would. But it's my truth. Whether you like it or not. His message is valid. And I have seen all the proof that I need to see to know that his message is valid. When I see myself in his holy tablets, when I see people that I know in this world, in my living experience now, that he wrote and drew into his scrolls, that he don't know. Because when he wrote these scrolls, like, let's just say, okay, in one of the situations, the person is probably old enough for him to have known him. But he didn't look the way he looked in the scroll. When I met these people, they look how they looked in the scroll today. One of the other people weren't even born when I noticed, like, whoa, when the Holy Tablets was written, this person wasn't even born. So how in the fuck would he know how this person gonna look this many years later? Stop it. This ain't, and with the same name, same face and same name. I showed the picture to this brother's sisters, his sisters and his niece, and they was like, what the? They even had to be like, whoa, because he got the same name and same name and same face. And then I know somebody else, the same thing. And this is over and over. And see, I'm not talking about like they just look alike and all this other kind of stuff. Like, no, I'm talking about the same face and name. Can't make this shit up. Ain't trying to. It's real. So, I didn't mean to get into a whole rant. I didn't mean to do that. But it had to be said, because I know that eventually, like, you know, the more I'm speaking out, that's probably going to come about when I'm speaking on the Wabu and different things like that. I know that that's going to probably come out, because that's a big part of who I am spiritually. Like, that was a part of my awakening. And although I expand and evolve daily, that, like I said, I was, is, and always will be Nuwabian. So that's not something that's going to go away. You know what I mean? So I felt like in my soul, my spirit said, address that right now. So for anybody that's coming that want to say this or whatever, like, I'm addressing it right now. And so in the future, when I'm doing videos and I'm speaking my truth, if somebody want to come and try to double, oh, well, you listen to, you follow, okay, I'm going to refer them right on back to this video. I don't give a fuck what you got to say, because I know the truth as far as what I deal with as far as the truth. Now, all that emotional shit about what you think and what you feel, you can keep that shit, because you don't know either. You wasn't there either. You don't know what happened. And that's a fact. That is a fact. Whatever you say, whatever I say about the situation is coming purely from emotions. That's a fact. So, moving forward about silencing my voice. I was told early on, and this was like the earliest time I remember really, and I'm sure it was before this, because I used to always ask a lot of questions. I used to always like speak on a lot of things. I was very bright as a child. Like I was very astute. You know what I'm saying? I paid attention to things. I listened to detail, and I knew a lot. You know, as far as like I comprehended. I put it like that. I comprehended things very well as a child. So I heard a lot how I talk too much, um, and as I got older and was more expressive, how I was tactless and I can't talk to people that way, and also too, like I used to get into a lot of fights because I used to always defend people, or and not even just saying people. I used to defend the truth. I say that, not just people, the truth, and um, when I used to get into so many fights, you know, people didn't really like, people just will automatically assume because you get into fights that you are a troublemaker. I wasn't a troublemaker. I was a defender of truth and injustice, and I would stick up for what was right. And that's either for myself or for somebody else. Most of it was for me defending somebody else. So whatever the case may be, those are my earliest memories of that. And then, you know, of course, you know, I go into my teenage years and stuff like that. And, you know, the consequences became more and more dire. You know what I'm saying? Just to tell a couple of stories. So I remember coming over to my aunt's house, and, you know, this is my biological aunt, his sister. And so his ex-wife, you know, I think they was divorced at this point. She had called, and she was like, I had answered the phone, and she was like, she asked for him. When she asked to speak to him, I'm like, hold on, because he had been over there. He wasn't living there, I don't think, but he would be over there a lot. And so I was like, hold on, because I think he had like went to the store or something. I don't know. It was like, I was trying to see, was he back or what? But I was like, hold on. She was trying to like mouth to me like what to say. But it was like along the lines of like, he ain't here, I ain't seen him. And I didn't want to laugh. You know what I'm saying? So I handed her the phone. And then, you know, like, then she went on with it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then when she got the phone, that's she went off, you know what I'm saying? She's like, don't answer my phone if you know, like, you know, she going after him for child support and this, that, and the third, and he can go to jail and all this. And I'm in my mind, like, cause like this time, you know, they would be bragging about how much money he made. He drove for like a limousine company, and like he made good money, whatever. He had like a little young girlfriend. He was like in his 40s. He had like a 25-year-old girlfriend or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And he's spending his money on her, like buying stuff for her, taking her children out and stuff. And I'm like, wait, but he can't do nothing for you. Want me to laugh him while he ain't doing it for his own, for my cousins? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, yeah, that's how I felt. Like, I didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? But she was mad at me. My auntie was mad at me. And these are your nieces and nephews that he not taking care of, and you like defending that. That was her brother, and that's what I'm saying. Like this, what happens a lot of times in families. Like, we don't hold we don't hold people accountable for the right things. You know what I mean? Like, if the mother was going after him maliciously and like on, you know, like maliciously trying to go after him, there would be something different. But you know, he using the money for drugs and taking care of his little young girlfriend. You should not be condoning it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it was malicious, like he was actually doing stuff for the children, and she just like ignoring that and just trying to get more out of him, just trying to get money, and you like, well, nah, because she on some malicious stuff and you trying to protect your brother from that, that's something different. But if it ain't malicious, she just really trying to get help with her children that belong to him also, what is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, as a woman, you don't think that that's fucked up? I don't condone that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to speak up. But that's the type of thing that get me labeled as, you know, I talk too much. I don't have any tact, you know, things like that. But that same uncle involving that 25-year-old girlfriend, and I want to say, how was I? I was like 13 or 14 at this time. But my younger cousins had been introduced to her. I don't know. I think probably like with time when she would come around, I was probably at my other grandmother's house. So I never really like was around her like that. But I guess they liked her. You know, my family kind of, vain a little bit, So she was pretty, young, real long hair, chocolate, dark skin. She was pretty, young, pretty. And so I think they just liked the point of the fact that she was pretty. My family like I say, my mother's side of the family kind of stuck up on looks like this. So yeah, they was. So she had came by, and my two younger cousins, my auntie's daughters, they was all like, and run out there and, on her face, whatever. And so I didn't go out there. Like I say, I didn't know her, and frankly, I wasn't impressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, yeah, she was pretty, but again, like I said, I mean, all I knew like that was my auntie, his ex-wife. Well, at that time, I think they was just separated at that time, but still, like, I'm gonna say his ex-wife. All I knew was her, and like I say, she always treated me good. That was auntie to me, and so I'm not interested in this new chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's his little girlfriend. Okay, whatever. So he came in, and he had like a little attitude that I didn't go out there to speak to her. He was kind of talking a little jazzy or whatever about it. And so me being who I am, like I said, because I do have a tendency to just stand what I feel. And so I'm like, ain't nobody, like, I'm not rushing to go out there to speak to your little 25-year-old girlfriend that's using you anyway. She only with you for your money. And that must have triggered, I mean, and I mean, that was real. It was facts. It was facts. I'm just keeping it a buck. It was facts. She was only with him because he was paying. He basically was giving her all his money. He couldn't even get his own crib like that at that point. He couldn't get his own crib because he was spending so much money on her. He was having to go, like, that's why he was like sleeping in his limo and staying in my auntie house. And then at that point, staying in my grandma's house. And he wasn't even helping my grandma with money. He was eating there, but giving all his money to this shit. He was going to work, giving all his money to her. But like I say, this is just stuff that I observed. And so, yeah, when she came over, I wasn't pressed to run out there and go speak to her. I didn't know her. And so he had an attitude, and he was saying stuff. And when I said that to him, like, I don't know her and I'm not pressed to go speak to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, who is she? She ain't doing no but using you for your money anyway. And I said that when I say this man hit me so hard. He hit me so hard, I flipped out. Me and the chair flipped back. I flipped out the chair. And when I say he punched me, not just hit me, no, he punched me in my face. Like, it was like I had a mark over my left eye for a long time from where he punched me, because it broke skin, and my eye swelled up. Like, I didn't have like a black eye because it was like on the side of my, like, he punched like on the side of my face, but it was like on like right like by my eye. Like, I think he had like a ring or something on, because it kind of split a little bit right there. And so of course, like, me being who I am, like I say, because I'm not gonna lie, I am a fighter. Like, I used to get down, I used to thump. So but it caught me off guard. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, and I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I done been into so many fights I can't even count. I have never in my life been hit that hard. And this is my uncle. I kid you not. I have never in my life been hit as hard as that man hit me. It's like he hit me with the power of 100,000 ancestors. Like, he knocked my ass out the chair. I'm talking, me and the chair went flying back. Real talk. And when I got up, I was like, I ain't gonna lie, I was low key dizzy. Like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So my first instinct, because I'm like, he hit me that hard, because I had never been hit that hard. Even to this day, I had never been hit that hard in my life. I still remember how hard he hit me. When I say I ran upstairs to go get a knife, because our kitchen was upstairs at that time. We had a kitchen downstairs and the kitchen upstairs, but the kitchen upstairs was like the main kitchen. The kitchen downstairs just had like a refrigerator, the deep freezer. But I had ran upstairs to go get a knife, and like, it took two grown men to keep me back from him. Like, real talk. And the whole time, like, even in that time, I remember this, even at that time, I remember saying to them, like, y'all holding me, but y'all didn't have the man to because one of my uncles was sitting there, like, when it happened. Like, but you didn't think to grab him? You grabbing me, but you didn't think that y'all holding me back, but y'all didn't think he punched me in my face like that. Y'all ain't down there like, why you do that to my niece? Why you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I was going off with everybody, like, they couldn't tell me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. But I'm telling you, like, this is like an example of me speaking my truth, and it rubbed people the wrong way. Another instance, my grandmother, may peace be upon her. This is my father's mother though. My uncle, one of my uncle on my dad's side, he at this point in time, she was like speaking about him to her daughter, my auntie. So she was on the phone, and I remember it was like the evening time, and I was in my room taking a nap. And I used to be real big on The Simpsons. So I had set an alarm, and I was going to watch The Simpsons, and I was going to go back outside. So my alarm had went off, and I heard, like I had turned it off, but I was still kind of laying there. And I had heard her come to the front. I think she was trying to see was I woke. And then when she seen like I was still laying there, she had went back in the kitchen or whatever, she was still talking. And so she just kept, blah, 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 talking. But I'm hearing what she's saying, and she like talking, man, I'm talking about greasy about my uncle. So I hear this. And then like, and I didn't hear my uncle come up the steps either, because like the way our crib was set up, it was like we had 3 doors to get into our crib. We had like two doors downstairs and one up. So the first 2 doors, that first door, you can hear that when somebody come in there, when they close it, you usually can hear it. And then the second one, you may be able to hear, you may not. And then the upstairs one, you should at least be able to hear the keys of somebody trying to come in that one. So boom, I didn't hear none of the doors. She didn't hear none of the doors. Only thing we heard was like the keys unlocking the door. And so he must have crept up the steps or something, because I didn't hear the downstairs door, and neither did she. So he unlocked the door. And when he unlocked the door, she like, her conversation, I had never seen nothing like this before. Her conversation switched. Like, it was like she went smoothly into a transition to talking about him to talking about me. And I was like, I'm sitting here like, when I say my mouth just dropped, like, what the So when I come in there, she had stopped talking altogether. But I'm like, that's messed up. And I said something like, I'm sorry, like they both, like, he said I was wrong, that I shouldn't have said nothing. And she was just like completely thrown off that I said something. But I'm like, how you just gonna be talking about me, talking about him, and then when he come in the door, you just gonna switch to talking about me? And she was like, no, when I was like, yes, you was. And I was like, you just was talking about him. And he had to admit, he was like, well, yeah, I kind of heard you saying something. He was like, but you weren't supposed to. And he actually turned to me and was like, well, you weren't supposed to say nothing. That was wrong. That was disrespectful for you to call her out on it. What? Like, what kind of world are we living in? Like, I'm just saying. Now, don't get me wrong. I get, like, sometimes you vent about something somebody doing, but if that person walk up and catch you, then hey, you caught it. You need to own up to it. Hey, yeah, this is what I was talking about. I was saying this because I was frustrated. That may be a cue. If you talking about somebody and they somehow walk up in the middle of you talking about them, that's your cue that you're supposed to be talking to them about them. What is you talking about me to somebody else gonna do to help the situation with me or between me and you? You talking about me to somebody else does nothing for me and you or for me. So if you really want to help the situation, then talk to me about me. If I'm doing something that's rubbing you the wrong way, don't talk to somebody else about it. Talk to me about it. So if I walk in on you talking about me, keep talking about me while I'm standing here, so I can chime in. Don't wait. Don't silence. Don't get quiet. Don't silence. Don't do that. Speak up. You know what I'm saying? So I was completely off. I felt like, what's wrong with y'all? They looking at me like, what's wrong with you? And I'm looking at them like, what's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying? But for real, like, but that's me. And I realized, like, I have this, like, I could go, when I tell you I could go on and on, and I'm not going to keep making this long and long and long and long and long. I'm speaking like just to say, like, these is just some of the examples. And I felt compelled to come here today and to speak on this, because somebody is going through the same thing I went through, that this sister Water Star Vibes was going through. And it was the brother Comedic Center Living. Both of these two YouTube influencers, they express themselves in a way that has really been inspiring me lately to, like, to step more into speaking my truth. Like, get out of that not want to speak up because what somebody may feel about it, it may offend this person. Like, the fact of the matter is, I know my heart. The Most High know my heart. I'm not trying to offend you. I'm just speaking the truth. And if it offends you, you need to go inward. You need to figure out why it offends you, if it's the truth. Because I have asked several people this. I used to get into it with my children's father, and he used to, this was one of the people that I will say contributed to me silencing myself or quieting myself. Because like hearing it from him along with other people as well, but hearing it from him so much and then feeling like, okay, well, he validated in what he's saying because other people saying it too, that also played into me quieting myself and saying, okay, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be saying this. Maybe this is too much. Maybe I should keep quiet about this. Maybe I shouldn't point this out. Like, but we used to get into these arguments, and when I would say things to him, he would be like, mad as heck. Mad. And I would always ask him, but was I lying though? You may not have liked how I said it. You may have wanted me, and this is what I would say to, like, it don't matter how I said it. And that's what I realized eventually. Like, it don't matter how I say it. I could, like, he'll be like, well, you could have said it this way. And you could, like, how you gonna tell me how to talk? That's not how I talk. I don't talk like that. You want me to talk in a way that, and even if I do, and I have tried it. I have purposely tried to speak it that way that he was telling me to speak, and he still didn't like the message. He still didn't like it because the point of fact that he didn't like that I was saying it, period. Me saying it was triggering him. It didn't matter if I sprinkle glitter, candy, syrup, sugar, honey, agave, stevia powder. It didn't matter what I sprinkled on that to make it sweet. He still didn't want to hear it because the message was the truth that he was not ready to face, period. So, I don't know who needs to hear this today. I don't know if you have stories like what I just said, where you spoke the truth and it got you in some type of trouble, and you start to quiet yourself for fear of consequences of what you spoke, for fear of being a retaliation for what you spoke. I'm going to tell you right now, those days are over. That was your training. That was to make you strong enough to speak up. That was to let you know somebody gonna always not like it when you speaking the truth. That's just what it is. Somebody's not gonna like it. And sometimes people will try to bring you down, try to knock you down a peg for making them feel small, for not facing their shit. You know what? Them days are over. You are protected. Speak your truth. Speak your truth. Whether they like it or not, what they gonna do? No matter what they try to do, the veil is so thin right now. Karma is being returned so swiftly that if they try to do something to harm you, if they try to do something to make you feel some type of way, or to try to retaliate for you speaking the truth because they felt some type of way about you speaking the truth, guess what? If they put that vibe out there, it's going to boomerang right back to them. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Accept that. Know it. Stay tuned.
You are powerful. You are chosen.
124,000 chosen leaders.
Assured. We are the new alchemists, transmuting your thoughts into gold.
Ariska Gale.
Yes, and
Meet me in the laboratory.